to kill the fuck out of Baz. Put a gun to his head. Oh, we're live.
If anyone would watch this, it would be Baz.
Talk about fantasy Baz. I don't think anyone actually watches this, let alone Baz. So.
Someone's a bit anxious about it.
Yeah, I've got to cover myself now. Okay. All right. Anyway, shut up. Okay. Super Bowl episode. Let's get it. All right.
You know women can't make machine gun noises with their mouth? Women can't do it.
A lot about guns.
Women can't do it.
They can't. So they can't roll their tongue.
No, you just ask a woman to make a machine gun noise. They don't know how to do it.
They're not educated in that, are they?
They just don't know.
Because they're not educated.
There we go. Penny, make a machine gun noise.
With your mouth.
That's just rolling your ass. Make it like a machine gun noise.
I just did.
No, like a real one.
No, I'm not playing.
So they can't do it, man.
I think she only did it because she heard us making the noise as well.
That's true, yeah.
I'm a bit busy.
We're busy too.
So are we, actually. And you just walked in the middle of this. And that's unplugged. So
Does
you
that
just
look
try
alright?
somewhere else?
Does that look alright?
That's unplugged right now. That's not doing
So
it.
you will plug it back
Yeah,
in.
Does that
yeah.
look alright? Does that look alright?
Does that look alright?
I think it's on the piss, to be
Weird
honest.
things, but I'm just saying.
What are they doing?
Are they actually set up good?
Yep.
What about that one? I just moved it.
Why haven't you turned it around so you can see it yourselves?
That was a good camera.
Pardon?
Shitty camera.
Camera's not as good.
Is that really true?
That's very true.
Well, look at the size of it.
It's a 12 megapixel on the back and it's only a 6 megapixel on the front.
Gotcha.
Well, look,
Get
this.
on with your
What about this
show,
one?
boys.
Yeah, well, we're trying.
No, but I just moved it.
Fine. Yeah, you did it wrong.
What do I do? Well, there we go. See, this will ask you to move it.
Oh, fucking hell, I'd love to keep looking at his fucking button.
He's smiling like it's a portrait.
Stop smiling, you're creeping me out.
Why? I have a beautiful smile.
This has gone wild.
I've been told.
On YouTube right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Thanks, Mum.
That's fine.
Thank you.
That's fine.
You didn't even notice that I've shaved my beard. Pretty much down to what yours is.
Showed your beard.
Anyway, have fun.
How'd you not notice that?
I don't notice things like that.
How? Emily was like, in pieces. She couldn't believe
but
my
she
beard
sees
was
you
gone.
every single day.
She couldn't believe my beard was gone.
I actually had no idea you did it.
It was the day that I saw you at Nepal.
I had no idea. I wouldn't even.
And I had a massive haircut. I took half my hair off.
Yeah, now I notice it too. I don't notice these things. I'm not very observant in these things. You're very observant. I'll give you that. I'm not.
I should have brought my thinning scissors.
Oh, that's what I was
If
going to.
I-
I was actually going to mention you saying, please bring your stuff.
If I do
with
come
me.
back here, then I can bring my thinning scissors.
Yeah, sick.
Because your hair is a mess.
It's a mess. It needs help. So
The undercut is so not it.
It's okay. Just the
It's just so thick on the top.
yeah. The top has had nothing done,
Yeah.
so it looks like a mushroom. That's the issue.
Yeah,
All right,
that
let's
is
do
the
this
issue.
fucking episode. All right.
I was thinking that the other day when we were playing netball.
Yeah, it's terrible. No,
Anyway.
I know. All right, I just actually don't care. That's the worst part. All right,
That's fine.
3, 2, 1. G'day and welcome back to the Winger Podcast. We're back. Hiatus is over, and we have a Super Bowl preview coming up.
Best day of the year.
It is a bit. Yeah.
Nah, I honestly think it's the best day
Yeah,
of the
we
year.
love it. And I think because it's a Monday in Australia, you get the day
Yeah.
off. It's like a long weekend for us.
It's
fantastic.
like, I don't know, there's some sort of novelty around it where it's like, obviously the AFL Grand Final is good fun.
Yeah.
But everyone enjoys that, and it's like,
We're
this
niche.
is like, yeah, it's like not many people enjoy it, but the people who enjoy it really love
enjoy it. Yep.
Like AFL Grand Final day, everyone just sort of gets around it, even if they don't like footy that much.
This is right.
But Super Bowl day is just like, has this mystique about it. It's like, if you really want to take the Monday off, that means you are properly into it.
This is it.
You know what I mean? So,
And we are.
Yeah.
We do it
I'm
every year.
Fucking keen for
We
it.
book it off every year. This day in the Melbourne Cup day. That's what we do. So let's get into it. We're going to go through each team and we're going to talk about their season so far and what's made them get to this point. Flaws and pros. All right. So we talk about the underdogs first. The underdogs in Kansas. I think that
crazy to
alone
think.
just sounds madness.
Yeah.
Mahomes and Andy Reid. Underdogs, that's unbelievable. But they're the number one ranked team in pretty much every offensive stat that matters.
Well, their offense is just absolute powerhouse. We thought losing Tyreek Hill, one
Yep.
of the most explosive players in the league, obviously would slow them down. It hasn't slowed them down whatsoever.
What, if anything, it's actually made them slightly better.
Yeah, because now there's no one target.
Nah.
It's whoever is ready and whoever steps up.
Juju or it's Marquez or it's anyone.
Exactly. They're just ready to step up. So it makes for a really, really exciting matchup in the Super Bowl. Obviously, with one of the best defensive teams on the other side of the ball. It's going to be a real test for Mahomes and the Chiefs, but I'm keen to see it.
100%. Now, they're the number one ranked team in points, touchdowns, yards, red zone touchdowns, you name it. Mahomes, Kelsey, Andy Reid, that's probably enough.
Yeah.
You don't need to say anything else, do you, really? That's as good as it gets.
Even saying Andy Reid's a bit too much.
To be fair, but that's all you need to say. But then you actually look on the defensive side of the ball, and that's always been their Achilles heel since day dot with this Mahomes generation. It's been, yeah, but they suck at defense. And then they go and get rid of the Honey Badger this year, and you're thinking, they're going to be even worse.
Yep.
They actually haven't.
No. Chris Jones has been phenomenal this year.
Their pass rush has been actually very, very good.
Yep.
And then in terms of pass defense, they're middle of the road, which is okay. But in terms of rush defense, they're top 5, or the top 8. And then they're top 5 in rushing touchdowns.
The thing that impresses me the most is their ability to switch and sort of adapt throughout the year. Because I remember at the start of the year, it was whoever's going against Kansas, you just bet on their wide receivers because their secondary was so terrible, as you said, after losing Honey Badger. But it's something they've really been able to switch around throughout this year. And I think, as you said, that's a real credit to the pass rush of players like Chris Jones, who have just been phenomenal.
Now, one thing that might be their Achilles heel, and this is a stat that no one wants to have. Kansas are dead last in red zone touchdown percentage on the defensive side. So they give up the most red zone touchdowns.
Crazy, isn't it?
That's absurd.
Yeah.
And that is scary when you're coming up against a team like Philly. We'll get into them. The favourites now in Philly. I mean, the Philly they're second in nearly every category behind Kansas on the offensive side of the ball. And the thing is, they are number 1 in sacks, and their defense is nuts.
Yeah, unbelievable. They have 4 players that had over 10 sacks throughout this year. That's never, ever been done before.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely ridiculous. To think of teams, like obviously had the Rams last year, who were one of the best defensive teams ever, with players like Aaron Donald, Bobby Wagner, and Von Miller, didn't even have those 4 players over 10 sacks. But this year, with Slay and everyone, it's just put really great emphasis on defense, and I think they really take pride in it as well.
They've got an interesting route here because they've got the number one rushing team offensively, and then the number 1 defensive team in terms of sacks. And I think overall, pass yards are number 1 in defense, top number 1 in sacks, and top 3 in yards allowed. So they're a top 2 defense, and they're a top 1 rushing offense.
Yep.
Historically, that's probably not a Super Bowl mix.
No, not really. No,
the rushing teams aren't always the best teams. We've had Tennessee, been a good rushing team for a long time. We've had anything that's had C-Mac. You go back Adrian Peterson years. Historically, the rushing teams aren't the dominating teams as such. It's more so your passing team. So that might be their Achilles heel. Who knows?
Well, you look at the last few years, obviously, you had the Bucks. They had Fournette, but he was sort of like a throwaway from Jacksonville.
He was just a ground and pound, getting a couple yards here and there.
Exactly.
He only had many games over 80 yards. Not many.
No, exactly.
If 2 or 3.
And you've had, obviously, all the Patriots teams, which has never had that star running back. They've really relied on the passing game, and even like...
And the Kansas themselves.
I was going to say, even the Kansas City Chiefs have always relied on that passing game so heavily. So you are right. It sort of comes down to who can really chase the game, because that's often who seems to win it, is the team that's coming from behind and is chasing the game. So definitely look for the Kansas City Chiefs to be chasing after the Philly Eagles, try and really develop their run game throughout the game.
Well, they're a different team, and that makes sense because they're different names. Jalen Hurts. Their coach, Sirianni. I had to actually Google his name. I forgot his name.
Really? Sirianni.
That's how little this team is in terms of quality, well-known dogs.
They're quite inexperienced, yeah.
They are.
This is like their almost too early year.
AJ Brown. Even AJ Brown, to a degree, is relatively unknown.
Yeah.
Devonta Smith is still a second-year player. Like, this is a really, really young team. You've got some remnants of the old Super Bowl winning Philly team, like the Kelseys and whatnot. Yeah. But overall, especially on the offensive side of the ball, Sanders, these are not your household names.
Yeah.
This team is a complete lottery that no one had not many people had been making playoffs.
No.
Well, let alone being the best team on both sides of the ball.
That's been one of their main factors this year, has been that surprise factor. They're one of the most unknown teams, as you said, and a big part of the NFL is sort of studying the opposition and knowing exactly what they're going to do. And a big part of their season has been no one's really knows what they're going to do.
Unpredictability.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, as you said before, they're one of the best rushing teams, and it's because they got rushes from all different angles. They've got a couple of different running backs. They've got players like Gainwell who can get really good rushing yards as well. And obviously Jalen Hurts himself is one of the best on his feet. But then you look at their two biggest weapons probably are Devonta Smith and AJ Brown especially. Obviously deep ball threats and massive X-factor players on the throwing side of the ball. So
This is it.
so interesting to see like one of their biggest strengths is not involving their two biggest X factors.
This is very, very true. All right, let's get into some of our top bets that we are liking for this game. Now, I've got two straight off the bat that I love. Just going off the stats I've just spoke about, Kansas are really good at stopping the run.
Yep.
And I think in a Super Bowl, like we said, very rarely are you in a position in Super Bowl where you have such a comfortable lead, you're burning the clock.
Yep.
It doesn't usually happen.
No.
It's always tight. And therefore, for me, that means the run game, it takes a hit.
Yep.
Especially in Philly's case when Kansas is such a good running defense. So Jalen Hurts with a line of 50 rushing yards, I am taking that unders very, very, very happily.
Yep.
It's a Super Bowl. You've got to win the game.
Yeah.
You're throwing the ball.
Yeah.
So, contrary, so you could also take him over pass yards. But I'm taking him under rush yards 150%.
Love that. Absolutely love
49.5
that.
is his rush line, and I think that's absolute hammer under 50. It's
Yeah.
a lock for me.
I like it a lot.
Now, in my next one, if he does have to pass the ball, which he should, I don't think the big plays Jalen Hurts has in his arsenal yet. He's not a Mahomes. He's not a Justin Herbert. He can't sling this ball. Like, I'm not saying he hasn't done it this year because he's actually been very surprising
Yep.
in his passing ability. Completely shocked me, actually. But I think on a big game like this, the nerves will come in a little bit. It's not going to be big yard plays. I think AJ Brown and Devonta Smith especially, are going to have a little bit more trouble when it comes to getting big plays.
I agree.
So I think it's going to be a lot of check downs, a lot of nice, easy passes, and that's going to benefit their tight end 150%.
Yeah, more
Dallas,
of that frequency.
exactly. Dallas Goddard, I'm just checking what his receiving yards line actually is. 49. I like that.
Yeah.
I think he's an easy 4 to 5 third downs.
Yeah.
You know, alone, that's 8 yards there or so, let's say. I think it gets them quite happily. So I'll take Dallas Goddard for over rush yards, over 50. That's money for me.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, especially with Dallas Goedert. I think he's going to be such a pivotal part of this offense, and especially with obviously Chris Jones and the different defensive linemen are going to really try and attack Jalen Hurts. And even, I think it might have been Fred Warner of the 49ers that came out and said, just make Jalen Hurts play quarterback.
Yeah.
Because all this year, he's let his legs get
He's
himself out of
ad-libbing.
situations.
Yep.
And yeah, as you said, ad-libbing and really just freestyling on the plays. When a play sort of turns to shit, he just makes his own sort of run out of it. So because of that as well, I think they're going to put that pressure on him. And I'm going to go sort of contrary to you, but I love his over rushing attempts.
Right.
Because
Scrambling.
exactly, he's just going to scramble. He's not going to be in the pocket. I feel like the pocket's going to collapse quite a lot. And I don't think players like Jason Kelsey are really going to be able to hold off this Kansas City pass rush. So I like to go him over rush attempts because at the end of the game, say they're winning as well and he takes a couple of knees, they still count as rushing attempts.
Yep.
So that could be big come the end of the game since they are the favourites as well. So the chance that they do that is pretty high. And one player that I'd love to take over rushing as well is Mahomes, but
Wow.
It's just that ankle that
That's the
I can't
issue.
really trust.
But it's a low line.
It's a very low line, 19.5. I can't take the under.
No,
but
no way.
I would love to take the over, but it's just too much of a gamble for me. So I'm definitely going to look towards a big game player and a player who I think is going to be one of the most important in this game. That's Travis Kelsey.
Got to be.
Obviously, it's Mahomes' go-to guy. He's probably one of the best receivers in the league, and the fact that he's a tight end is remarkable.
It's absurd.
He led the league in touchdowns in the season just been, and he's one of the first tight ends to ever do that as well. So
And he's just dominated the postseason.
he just dominates, and he steps up in big games as always. So I'd absolutely lock in his over receiving yards and over receptions. So his over receiving yards is 79.5 at the moment, and his total receptions at the moment is 7.5 as well. So I'd absolutely nail both of them over. I think Mahomes going to look for him in the big games. You rely on your best players, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of players drawn up for Travis Kelsey in this one. So they're some of our best bets for that one.
100%. I like your call with Hurts over rush attempts. And Stu,
yeah.
I actually love a multi. Over rush attempts, under rush yards.
That's what I was going to say as well.
Because that would be huge odds just because you're conflicting legs.
Yeah, exactly.
But who's to say he doesn't have 15 attempts at 5 yard, I don't know, a couple yard
two
gains.
yards, yeah.
Like I said, they're happening 100%. So, all right, let's get into our predictions now of the Super Bowl. So, Winner and margin. I'm taking Kansas by 10.
I like it.
You're taking?
I'm taking Kansas by 3.
So we're both taking the dogs here.
Yeah.
I think you have to. I can never in my life bet against a Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid system that is against a unknown system.
Yeah.
This isn't Tom Brady this time.
No,
different.
exactly
Tom
right,
Brady,
yeah.
I'm like, all right, different story. Mahomes, to be fair, has somewhat underachieved thus far in his career. He has had. He probably should have more than one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He's
agreed.
been the best player in the league for about 5 years now.
Yeah.
He's had the best team for at least 4 of those 5 years. He probably should have had more than one Super Bowl. He had the Brady loss. He was a better team than Brady that year.
He
but
was,
they lost.
but they absolutely bullied him.
100% they did. Then you got last year, that team crumbled a little bit. Should have done better.
Yeah.
It's a couple times now where they should have done better. And I just can't see him blowing another chance.
No, I agree.
He's too good.
Well, I think that obviously we're both taking the underdogs, but in any other situation where Mahomes has a fully healthy ankle and there's no question marks or cloud around it, I think they're a 3-point favourite, regardless.
Yeah.
I honestly think they're a 3-point favourite, no matter what, in the Super Bowl. But obviously, the ankle injury to Mahomes is a big, big question mark.
Thank God for that extra week off.
Yeah.
Super Bowl MVP. I'm going with Mahomes because I think he's just going to pull a rabbit out the hat.
Yep.
But my roughie is the same as yours. It's not really a roughie in terms it's only on the third line of betting.
Yep.
But he is a roughie in the odds, and that is...
Travis Kelce.
You got to.
Well, I was talking about it before. I feel like Mahomes, obviously a great bet. The quarterback is normally going to win it.
Yeah.
Well, last year, to be fair, Cooper Kupp won it. That's what I called. Just saying. But
It's true.
At $14 odds, I think Kelsey's definitely worth the punt here. Obviously, he's Mahomes' go-to guy. As I said before, I feel like he's going to get a lot of use and he's going to get a lot of yards. So if he's seeing that, I feel like he's going to be a big player in the game, maybe have a touchdown or two. And with that, I feel like definitely comes a Super Bowl MVP.
Agreed.
Especially with, obviously, Mahomes' health. He could just look for those checkdowns each time because he's not going to want to get hit in the pocket.
Nope.
So he's going to be one of the fast passes straight to Kelsey. And I feel like it's going to be a big play. But I'm just going to go with a quick roughie here as well. Did want to put this in. Chad Henne. So Chad Henne, you might be scratching your head, who the fuck is that? It's the backup quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. And obviously with Mahomes' injury, it could get re-inflamed at any point, just like it did in the previous playoff game. And I feel like Chad Henne, if he steps in there, he could be the quarterback to lead them to victory and win the Super Bowl MVP at $91 odds.
What a story.
Definitely worth a punt.
What a story. I love it. All right. Gatorade colour. I don't touch these. This is your specialty, your faculty, we could say.
It is.
What colour is your pick this year? You've gone 4 out of 5 in the last
5 years.
Very, very good record.
Well, the only one I didn't get was when it was yellow. I think it was 2017 or 2018.
Yep.
It was yellow. Like, who's going to guess yellow? I think it's terrible. Saying that now, yellow's probably going to win.
Yep.
But I've picked it this season before I even looked at the odds or anything like that. And I've realised I picked the $13 roughie.
You have.
I've gone with purple.
Huge.
I know. So purple in the last 22 years has been picked twice.
And it's been favourite years in years.
It has, yes.
With the Kobe death that year in 2020,
true.
I believe it was.
That's right, yeah.
It was the hot favourite,
Yep.
but it still hasn't popped up.
Well, I think $13 is due. The last time we saw it, 2012, when the Giants won. And then before that, I believe, was 2006. I'm pretty sure it was.
So you could say it's due.
It is 100% due, I believe. So we've only seen it, as I said, twice this century, but definitely due again. And I feel like after Andy Reid and the Chiefs win, it'll be thrown right over him and we'll see it. But also, I don't mind as a bet. I know none of these actually have it in there, but I'm just going to throw it out there and say we will not see the Gatorade get poured on the coach.
You don't think?
I don't
Andy
think
Reid's
we'll
going
see
to crack the shit and say, don't put that shit on me?
Yeah, I don't think we'll see it.
Wow.
I honestly don't think we'll see it. It's not in a lot of the betting markets, but if you do find it in there, no Gatorade to be
Sports
poured.
bet novelties, it's there.
It is. Well, there you go. I believe that is a bit of a bet as well.
Well, I'm actually going to chime in here and actually give a colour.
Here we go.
I think they're going to give him the same colour they did last time, which was yellow.
Orange.
Was
Last
it orange?
time.
Was
It was orange
Sorry.
last time, yes.
Yellow orange. It's one of those
Yeah.
61 dozen others. Orange then for Andy Reid to be on his head again.
No, I don't mind
Just
it.
by chance. It might be the same player putting on his head again.
Yeah,
They might like the colour.
It might be, yeah.
Who knows?
Well, the player doesn't pick the Gatorade, so
Well, but he finds it, so who knows?
anyway.
Anyway, all right. And now, first touchdown scorer. Kelsey, I think, has to be the play.
Yeah, of course.
Purely because it's Kelsey.
Yeah.
He's going to score touchdowns this game. It's a good chance he'll be the first. But we're going to look a bit more odds. So we're going to call Kelsey because it's a lock.
Yeah.
But we're going to also look for odds. I'm actually going to take AJ Brown. I think Philly get off on a really good start and then Mahomes just shows his class and comes through and wins. So I'm going to take a Philly player, and that's AJ Brown.
Yeah, all right. So you think they're going to come out firing straight away?
I think they can throw a touchdown in the first quarter and then they get to ahead of themselves and Mahomes comes back and wins.
Well, I mind it.
But I will take AJ Brown for sure for mine.
And what is he paying there?
It's a very, very good
First
question.
touchdown scorer?
It's a very good question.
We've
Let's
got
have a look.
AJ Brown listed
AJ
at
Brown-
$10.
10 to 1.
I
Love
think
that.
I think that's actually a really good value.
Love that.
And I'm going for a little bit of value as well. A player who I was looking at the stats before, and he's already scored 8 touchdowns this season, which puts him tied fifth in the NFL this year, and that's Jerick McKinnon.
That's crazy.
I know.
Fifth in the league.
In just receiving.
Wow.
So Jerick McKinnon, I feel like he's a real shout at $14 for the first touchdown of the game. But a bet that I'm really liking at the moment, you'll find this one in the novelties and sports bet, is first scorer. So this includes all scoring. And I'm really liking Butker, the kicker from the Chiefs. I feel like the Chiefs are going to march down there. They'll be able to get close enough. And obviously their red zone percentage, as you said, is not the greatest. But I feel like he'll be able to kick for the first score of the game. That's paying $5.
Love
I think
that.
it's great value.
And I see the Chiefs having the ability to do that. I see Chiefs march a little bit forward. Philly first possession is going to be absolute nerves. They're not going to make much ground.
Yep.
But then I think the red zone offense, they won't work for Philly and they won't work for Chiefs, and they'll be able to take a field goal.
100%.
I agree. I like it a lot. All right.
There you go.
That's our tips for the Super Bowl for this year.
And what are you going to say is the final score? I'm throwing in there 27-24.
And I'm taking 30-20.
30-20.
Yeah, I think it's a 10-point
There
game.
you go. Wow.
So,
Yeah. Should be a good game nonetheless. So keen for it. Let us know your predictions through the Instagrams or comment on the latest sort of Instagram post that we're going to put up regarding the Super Bowl, and we might run a bit of a comp as well, like we did with the NBA Finals.
Yes.
If you're able to guess the winner in the margin, we might throw out a little carton of better beer or something like that. So
something like that.
Stay tuned for that.
Please do.
Thank you very much for listening.
And good night.
Well done. That's good.
It's good.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to do the comp thing because that got really good
That did.
interaction last time. Times it.
Fucking hell, I'm sneezing like fuck. I feel like I'm
Yeah, what's
sick.
going
I'm
on?
not.
But like in that room.